Hey guys! So, excuse this. I just washed my hair and I'm literally not doing anything. But I wanted to come up here and talk about Married at First Sight because I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. I have never done a video about Married at First Sight before, but I love the show. I have been a fan for seasons. And like I said, I'm waiting for my hair to dry, so I wanted to come up here and just talk about the show. So right now we are on season 14 of Married at First Sight. Right now they're on episode 2, but I figure since it's early in the season, I want to go back and I want to review episode 1 and hopefully try and do a review of all these episodes as the season progresses. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. Um, Especially, I don't know what season it was, but with Chris and Paige, definitely wanted to review all that. Definitely wanted to review last season too with Johnny and Bao and all of them and everything. Even this season with what were their names? Oh my gosh, Amelia and Bennett. Wanted to review that whole season too. So I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I just been putting it off. But right now I'm finally gonna make the video. And I know, right? It's finally gonna make the video. Now that I have time and everything, and I feel like this quality is gonna suck. I might delete this video eventually, and as I put out more videos or whatever. But I just wanted to talk about the show. So let's get started. So I'm going to talk about season 14, episode 1 first. I'm going to talk about the matchmaking special. Personally, do not like this episode. Like every season I watch it, of course, because it's kickstarting the season, the new season. So I watch it for that. But I think this is the slowest, most boring episode ever. I do not care because they really just replay all the same scenes and stuff. And I'm just like, we saw it once and they keep showing it again and again to us. That's my pet peeve with the production and stuff. The producers of the show, you literally, we watch something and then it'll repeat that. And I'm just like, we've heard this, we know. I'll get into examples later on as I start discussing the characters and more of what they're doing or whatever. Like I said, the video quality looks horrible. I should probably at least get a light or something, but the videos will get better as I go on. Every Wednesday I'm sitting up watching the show, so I'm really excited to be doing this. But anyway, season 1, episode 1, matchmaking special. Like I said, don't care about this part. It is so slow to me. Honestly, I'd rather them just skip to getting to know each other, even skip the weddings. But anyway, so the first couple we have is Mark and Lindsay. I don't think this was the order, but I'm just going off what I remember. So Mark and Lindsay. Wow. So Mark. First of all, he wants to tell us that he has tried out for the show 4 years ago or whenever they were in Boston the first time, right? And that's cool. I can understand you want to say that, oh, it didn't work out the first time, but the second time, here we are, and I'm on the show. I made it. Okay, cool. Again, here's my pet peeve with production. He doesn't need to say that a million times. We heard it maybe once or twice or whatever, but y'all keep replaying this stuff, and I'm just like, we already know that. So anyway, so he's on the show. That's all good and dandy. But I'm just like, man, to apply a second time, to do all that, spend your time and energy applying a second time, and not to find anyone in the meantime, I almost wish he was just on that season. And then we could have been over Mark. Oh, I have some tea, by the way. But anyway. So it's good that he has his second shot at love or whatever. Lindsay, she seems wild. Honestly, I feel like Lindsay would not be. She'd be fun and stuff. She seems to generally get along with people, so I like that about her personality. She seems to be easygoing or whatever, but honestly, personally, she seems like a little much. I know I my personality, I can get excited and stuff sometimes, but She seems a lot much, honestly, and I don't think I would ever be friends with her because she's just like way too much to handle. And I feel like Lindsay's personality is so interesting. Not to like come at people or whatever, I'm just giving my opinion. But I feel like her personality is so interesting because I don't know, I just get a weird sense from her that she's not like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure she's consistent in the lives of her friends and her people or whatever, but if you meet her and you're trying to like, you're just starting to like get to know her and stuff, it seems like she's just so unpredictable. I don't know. So, I don't know. I don't know. It might be interesting. Like, I don't know if like opposites attract or whatever, and people who are not like that tend to migrate towards her and like want to be around her and be her friend and stuff. Like people who maybe aren't so loud and stuff. I really don't know. But she just has an interesting personality, as we've all seen so far. Um, I already watched season 14, episode 2. But we're gonna see that she definitely gets a lot more interesting as the shows like progress. And yeah, so anyway, but yeah, so like I really do wonder though, do like people like what people are more attracted to her? I don't know. People who are like her or people who are unlike her and then balance her personality out. I don't know. I'd really kind of like to know like how her friends are too. Like if they're crazy or if they're more like calm and stuff and she's the crazy one out of the bunch. I would like to know that for sure. So anyway, guys, I have to have my tea. It's cold. It's snowing outside. Um, this is the day before MLK Day, so we just got snow on a Sunday. It's been snowing since like 2, 3 in the afternoon, and it's about what 5, quarter to 6 right now. But anyway, yeah. So that's Lindsay. I know I didn't really say much about Mark, but like again, glad that he's getting his second chance or whatever. He seems like a good guy. He seems like a good person generally, especially not really knowing anything about him too much yet. But from what they have told us, like he seems to be have a good heart and be sincere as he's taking care of his mom and other things that are going on. He seems to be a caretaker, so that's definitely a good quality to look for in a guy. So I think I don't know, my first impression, like after I watched the first episode, I was like, wow, Lindsay looks like a lot. And I was like, Mark looks like a lot too. Honestly, they both look like a lot. But who's going to be more? I think Lindsay's going to be more. And I think she's like wild. They called her the wild card. But she seems more so like wild, as in I guess that's what the wild card is. You don't know what to expect from her, but it's just like you don't know, is she going to act proper, is she going to act improper, is she going to do something nasty, or is she going to realize that, oh, belching is nasty? That's a spoiler for the next episode. But like you just do these things and you garner so much attention, and she doesn't care like what people think of her and stuff, and that's good. But y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna I don't know like if y'all want to comment or whatever, but one thing that I would tell you guys to comment down below is um being unapologetically yourself, right? Is that just like, yes, unapologetically yourself, do whatever you want. If you want to pee outside in public, go for it. Like that's, if it's something that you want to do, be unapologetically yourself. Lindsay kind of gives me that vibe where it's good. Like a lot of people want to be unapologetically themselves, right? So they want to belch out in public. They want to act how they want to act. They want to say whatever comes to their mind. They want to be, some people want to, you know, just be blatant and rude and stuff. So I don't know. When we like start saying like be unapologetically yourself, I think that's great advice, and a lot of people want to live that advice and stuff. But I'm just like, when is being unapologetically yourself a little too much? Are you not supposed to be unapologetically yourself in certain instances. Like, is it wrong for Lindsay to belch like that? She did in episode 2. We'll talk about that in the next video. But I'm just saying, y'all. So comment down below if you want. What is too much when being unapologetically yourself, or is there not too much? Is that what it means to be unapologetically yourself? Do whatever you do, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, and whenever you want to do it. So I definitely think that's an interesting topic. These are topics like that I love to talk about, just thinking about like questions like that. And let me know what y'all opinions are of that sort of thing. Again, oh, I'm looking at this camera quality and it looks horrible. And I actually have a camera that I could use. I have like 2 different cameras that I could use. But I'm on my tablet, so I apologize for this crappy video. I also apologize for sitting here with this on my head. But my head's wet, and so what am I supposed to do? I'm not going to sit under a dryer right now because I don't want to. I want to make this video. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, we talked about Mark. We talked about Lindsay. Let me know what you guys think. Like from the first episode about about Lindsay. I don't really like her. She, like I said, she seems like a little much, and it's not that I have like a problem with anybody, because I don't. I can get along with anyone or whatever. Like if that's how you are, be you. But I'm just saying, like she would probably rub me the wrong way, where she would probably say something offensive to me, and I'd just be like, "Are you serious?" Like, ugh. And so I would look at her after she said the offensive thing to me, like after she said it the wrong way. I would look at her and I'd be like, you don't forget something like that or whatever. Like she just looks like she would offend me somehow, either by burping in my face or saying something, and I'm just like, girl, that's all because, you're doing too much, like all the time. You don't know how to relax and just chill and like, I don't know. So that's the impression I get from her. And instead of waiting for her to do it, like instead of waiting for her to do something that might rub me the wrong way, I would look at her from the beginning and I'd be like, you look like you're prone to do something that'll rub me the wrong way. But I don't think that's judgment. I just think that's looking at people and observing, and it could be way wrong, like completely wrong. But y'all know, I guess we really do make judgments about everybody when we first see them. Everybody does. Like it's just a natural human thing. Like you judge appearance, you judge looks, and then personality. That's why they say first impressions are so important, because we're always like judging people right off the bat. So, that's a little judgment that I'd make. She could be really cool though. But I'm just talking about personally in my life. If I knew someone like her, I'd just be like, oh girl, you look like a lot. Mark, his eyes, bro. Let's talk about that for a second. He'd be talking like this. He'd be talking like this. And he's like excited and he's smiling and he's talking like this, and you're just like, bro, what are you on? That's the impression I get from Mark. Like, bro, what are you on? And then the shark thing, bro, don't get me started. I'd be so annoyed if he's talking about, I'm Mark the shark, I'm Mark the shark, I'm Mark the shark. I'd be like, bro, you're not a shark, first of all. And I'd just be like, it's not even funny. Like, someone honestly probably really thought 100% that you look like a shark, and so they told you that. And then you just start running with it, like, oh, I look like a shark, haha. Or, hey, that's cool, I look like a shark. That must mean I'm really muscular or whatever. So you take it in your head and you spin it however you want, but in reality, like your face actually looks like a shark or something. And that's what they're trying to tell you. But hey, good for you, Mark. I love your positivity. I love your optimism. Definitely like that. Yeah, definitely like that. And we can go ahead and skip to the wedding, because I'm not really trying to, like, when I do these reviews and stuff, I'm not really trying to go in like chronological order according to like what happened in the show. But I'm going to talk about the things that obviously I want to talk about, the things that stood out to me, the things that I have something to comment on, the things that I have something to say about. So I know a lot of people do like recaps of the show, and that's not really my point to do the recap. I'm just more so going to discuss what I saw, and that'll like involve like recapping some things, and like explaining what it is that I want to talk about. But I don't want to just recount what happened, because I feel like that's kind of Like, a lot of people do that and there's nothing wrong with it, but I just want to talk about this show in general and see if how I watched it translate to anybody else. Like, did you guys also think that Mark's eyes were a bit much? Because that's what I got from the show. So, that for sure. Um, yeah. So anyway, his eyes were definitely like popping out or whatever. He needs a nickname. Mark the Shark, not that one. He needs like I don't know. We'll come back to this name, but he looks more like a fish honestly, not a shark. But the way his eyes just be popping out, he looks like a fish. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Mark the fish. I don't know. It doesn't rhyme. But I was so dead when Pastor Cal he came up on there and he was talking about Mark the Shark in terms of like Lindsay. And he said some cheesy, corny line. He called them Mr. and Mrs. Shark or something like that. I was just like, this is really doing too much. I feel like they're encouraging like silly things. And when the experts I want to see a show on like the process of the experts matching the couples, not after they've I don't know, because I feel like they kind of cheat us a little bit because they're like, "Oh, we match these people because they both have family values." I'm like, "Bro, everybody in the world has family values." So like, what do you mean? Like, not every single person, but it's so broad. It doesn't all the time really speak to themselves as individual. Like, I think the show is relating too much to everybody, so everybody can relate. Like, oh, we matched these two because they both want to start families and they both want to get married. Like, no, duh, that's literally everybody on the show for those reasons. So I feel like the experts cheat us a little bit when they say stuff like that to us because I'm just like, bro, like, that's all you can say? Like, they want to settle down and have a family? Like, it just seems so general that we're also not getting to know them as, individuals on an individual basis. Let me know if you guys agree with that in the comments or not. Um, do you think that the experts and or the producers are kind of cheating us? Because they're just matching people so generally, like based on, oh, I don't want to party anymore, you don't want to party anymore, let's settle down because we both don't want to party anymore. Shout out to Elijah Wan and Katina. But anyway, I don't know. I just feel like it's basic and they're doing us a disservice because we're not really like that's so general that could be anybody that they pick out of the hat. You could match those people based on that. So I definitely want to see more like in depth and more like detail about like how the experts match the couples and what reasons other than the seemingly superficial ones or just the generic values that literally most people have. Like, why else are you matching these people? They really want to be married? Okay. Anything else? But anyway, yeah. So there's that. And what else? Yeah, so we went through Mark and Lindsay. Next, who should we talk about next? Oh, this is hard. Okay, let's talk about Jasmina and her husband, or soon to be husband. So, like I said, watch this, like the episode is like 2 weeks old, so I'm not gonna like recount the episode because I don't remember every little detail, but I'm just going to match them based on what happened. First of all, what I remember. So first of all, let's talk about Jasmina. And what's her husband's name? Michael? One of those. So anyway, Jasmina. Let's start with her. So her story was sad. Like, I hate that that's her story. When she was talking, she explained that she had a big family. That's not the sad part, but that her mom gave she and her sister up when she was little. Her mom walked out on her basically and her sister, so that's horrible. And then her dad. I don't know if she just got older and like I don't know, but it sounds like her dad walked out on her too, honestly. So both her parents walked out on her and her sister and whoever else it was that was around. I don't know. They have a lot of siblings. I think she has like there are 9 kids in that family. So I don't know who's where or whatever, or who was living with each other. But Jasmina said that it was she and her younger sister. So and then she said that her biological dad moved to Jamaica, and Jasmina asked if she could stay with her stepmom in I guess in the States, and her stepmom agreed to it, and Jasmina grew up with her stepmom. So that's great and everything, and that's so wholesome of the stepmom, but I really think overall that's just so sad, because it's just like, even though someone stepped in, someone who's not related to you by blood or whatever, and took care of you and raised you and loved you as her own and everything, it's so sad that your own parents are going to walk out on you, basically. Like, I don't know what the circumstance with her dad going to Jamaica, but it's just like, bro, you have roots here. Like, you started your family here, you planted your family here, you're just gonna leave. And like, okay, if he was gonna move everyone with him, that's one thing, to Jamaica. But it's just like, to me, it's like, bro, that's your whole responsibility, your children and stuff, and you're just gonna uproot and leave on your own. Like I said, it's a different story if he was about to move everybody with him. That's more understandable if he was about to move his whole family with him to Jamaica. And I guess maybe Jasmina had a choice somehow, or she didn't want to go, or something like that. It's screaming left behind to me, but let me not say that. Let me not put it out there, because I'm not sure what happened. But that's just what it sounds like initially to me. But if she had the choice to stay and her father was cool with it and her stepmom was cool with it, that's great. But then it's also the factor of her mom, and like, of course, we don't know the details about that or anything. But that's still just like, she's like, ooh, it's sad. So I definitely empathize with her for sure. But getting off of that story, she seems like a cool person. She's pretty. She has the whole esque model figure going. She looks like a model. I can definitely see her walking down a runway. She looks very neat and put together and nice and everything. So I can definitely see, you know, how her future husband would definitely be attracted to her, because she has the figure, and then she just looks nice and put together. So I like her vibe and her essence. She does seem a little like corny to me or whatever, but that's another thing that we can touch on when I do the review of episode 2. She did a couple things in that episode where I was just like, oh, this girl's a little bit of a cornball, at least to me, because I'm just like, oh, spoiler alert, when she dropped the paper, when she dropped her vows at her wedding, I was just like, okay, wouldn't have done that at all. Seems a little corny to me. But shout out to her being herself. We already touched on being unapologetically yourself, so go ahead, Jasmina. Yeah, so anyway, she seems a little bit like a cornball to me, but I'm excited to see her personality come out, because it seems like, and I don't know if it's just the shots that they're showing us, but it seems like she can be very like reserved and quiet and just, sit and observe. Not necessarily that that's her whole personality, because I'm sure she does have like an entire personality. But she does come off to me that she's not necessarily like the loudest person in the room, or the one who's always even going to say something or make her voice known, or make her presence known either all the time. She seems like she might, instead of like getting all the attention, she might just be the one, like I said, observing. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how her personality comes out as the weeks progress. But just off of like first impressions or whatever, it looks like she's not shy. So there's some people who can talk, but they're just not going to volunteer saying something like immediately, and I kind of get that impression from her. So we'll see, but I definitely think she's a vibe. She's a cool person. And I definitely feel like I'm seeing a little like quirkiness out of her. That may be a good match for her partner, but I guess we'll see. We'll have to wait on that. So, oh my gosh, please don't look at my nails either. Like, honestly, Like, I know a lot of people do YouTube and they come up here looking their best and looking so good. But for me, I'm just like, I'm not doing anything and I really want to talk about the show. So I just want to come up here with my horrible quality. I'm going to try and use a different camera next time. And just like speak my thoughts honestly. And I'm going to upload this video, even though it's probably like, girl, why is she on here looking like that or whatever. But yeah, so please don't pay attention to my nails. I'm about to do them. I'm so like into growing my own nails. Like they're long now. For some reason, I was like bored the other day and I was just like picking at my nail or whatever. So all of my other nails are long except for this one, my middle finger on my left hand. That's just completely a side note. But anyway, so I'm just like I have to do my nails and that's like the only one that's short, so it's gonna look a little weird, but I shouldn't have done that. And that was like a week ago. So anyway, yeah. What else? Yeah, so we talked about Jasmina. And like the last thing about her, at least for now, is that her mom or her stepmom. So first of all, Married at First Sight, bro. I gotta check you real quick because I'm just like, she just told us, Jasmina just told us the story of her mom, of her stepmom, not her mother, her stepmom adopting her and everything, and taking her under her wing and raising her and stuff, and then of her father being in Jamaica and stuff. And then y'all want to put like under the subtitles, y'all messed it up or whatever. Y'all put something like Jasmina's mom instead of her stepmom, which I can understand if you were doing it for like sentimental reasons, like you know, this is her mother or whatever. But y'all kind of like confused us a little bit by saying that was her mother and then saying the other um the her stepmom's husband was her stepfather, which I guess is true or whatever. But I was just like, the way y'all timed it with what she said and then y'all putting the little captions under their name, I was like, that just looks off. So it looked like y'all made a mistake and y'all were confused because Jasmina just gave her story and then y'all just changed it up under their with the subtitles under their name. So that was a side note, but anyway, it's not a big deal, but I was just like looking at it and I was like, that's not what she just said. She just said that was not her mother, but her stepmother. So I was like, you know, maybe y'all didn't know and I just had to tell you. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, moving on to Michael, and I think that's his name. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but I think it's Mike and Jasmina or something like that. But anyway, I can look it up, but yeah, so him. Let's talk about him. Bro, I look at him and I'm just kind of like, there's nothing wrong with him or whatever, but one, it just looks like he has no swag, and like that shouldn't be like a huge thing or whatever. But first impressions are everything, and you look like you really don't have any swag or whatever, and that's important. Like in terms of like attraction wise and stuff, I don't know, maybe some girls like a guy who seems not to have any swag. I don't really know anything about that, but you know, when you look at a guy, you just want to be like, oh wow, like he looks so chill, he looks fun, he looks funny, he looks like, you know, put together, he looks confident, he looks like he knows what he's doing, he looks like he knows where he's going, he looks like he got plans and goals, he looks like, you know, he just has this like aura about him that's just like attractive, you know. And to me, when I look at Michael, I'm just like, oh, he looks like he be alone, and there's nothing wrong with that or whatever. But you know, there's something that vibrates off of people that makes them look like, oh, you look like people want to be around you because they really like what comes off of you. Like that's attractive to me. Not okay. I'm gonna say this loosely because I'm not like because that's not exactly like what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna say that loosely, but you know, when you just like, I like a person who is like, this is gonna sound contradictory, okay? But I like a person who looks like they attract other people because it's like, oh, there's must be something about you that I just need to experience or be around, or just, something that draws me to you. I really like people who have that type of aura that's like, oh, there's something about you that draws me to you. I have to like be around you too. You're so cool. You're so chill. You're so like whatever. And so I'm not saying like Michael isn't any of those things, but I'm just saying I look at him and it just seems like he keeps all that in. Like he doesn't let his personality come out, so people will see when they first see him, from the first meeting or whatever. It looks like they don't see, like, oh, this is just my opinion, by the way. Like, I can see this from you, and like that really attracts me to you. To me, he looks more like cooped up in himself and not really um like showing off like, oh, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. When he walks in a room, he kind of looks a little closed off, and to me, it's like, well, I don't know, can't really tell anything about that person, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I was saying this is gonna sound hypocritical because it seems like I'm saying like I need to be attracted to somebody else by, I hope it doesn't sound like arrogance or whatever, but I just like that vibe. When you can feel someone's vibe or whatever, or get a sense of their vibe, then I'm like, yeah, like I can get with that. Not get with that like that, but like I can like, my vibe is similar or whatever. So with Mike, if that's his name, Jasmina's husband, fiance in this episode, I'm just like, I can't immediately tell um what it is about him that I would automatically connect with. So I think that's my thing. I'm just like, I can't tell what it is about him that would attract me, like that would make me want to get to know him, that would make me say, oh, yeah, like I'm just drawn to this person because they have this light that, attracts me or whatever. I'm just like, oh, shout out to last season, Johnny and what's his name? Ricardo. Just kidding, Johnny and Jose. Yeah. Whoops, guys, don't come at me for saying Ricardo when his name was Jose. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say about Michael. Let me see. Jasmina and Michael. Yes, I've been saying his name right this whole time. Okay. So yeah, I didn't forget his name. I just had to confirm. But yeah, so that's really what it is about him. Like, there's nothing wrong with being introverted. There's nothing wrong with being a loner. There's nothing wrong with being to yourself and being quieter or being in the background. And I don't even know if all these things necessarily describe Michael. Like, who knows if he's someone who plays the background, who's in the background. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, that's how he appears to me so far. And I think they've said, like, he's quiet and to himself and stuff like that. But for me, I just kind of get a weird type of vibe from you when I can't like tell what your vibe is because you're like not expressing it openly. So again, nothing wrong with that or whatever. But I'm just like, yeah, he seems a little weird for that. I don't know. Not that you're weird because you're a loner or you're usually by yourself or whatever, but just because I can't get a sense of what your vibe is. Like, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. But that's just me. And like, I don't know if that has like made sense at all to any of you, but like I said, I'm just sharing my opinion and this is how I feel about him. These are my thoughts about the show. So anyway, and the people and the characters. So anyway, so we talked about him and her, Jasmina and Michael, and honestly, bro, like I hope that they can find each other attractive and charming and genuine and smart and just very I hope that they can get along with each other. But looking at her, like, and looking at him, he just looks like he wouldn't open up very well, and that's unfortunate, but I feel like I could see that being the demise of their whole relationship. Like, he's not really like opening up, and he's not even like, maybe he's confident about himself, but he doesn't even like walk around with that much confidence to me. Like, he just, it doesn't seem to exude from him, in my opinion. He just looks like he's just like bopping around. He'd be going here, he'd be going there, he'd just be doing regular stuff. But like, I feel like it's a difference between a person who walks around with confidence and you're like, I entered the room, like, here I am, versus you just kind of like blended into the background. And I don't know. There's no problem with either. If that's how you are, be who you want to be and whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I can't really tell how Michael is going to turn out because he's not like showing us his whole personality unless he is. And so that's why I'm just like a little confused about his whole character or his whole person, because I'm just like, is this the whole 100% like true Michael that we're already seeing? Because if it is, we're really not seeing much so far. But if it's not, then I'm just like, I guess we're gonna have to stay tuned and really break open his character. But I don't know. In terms of them as a couple, um, it doesn't really look too good to me, honestly. Like, I hope that they can get along and everything, but I don't really think she'll be that interested in him. I think he'll be kind of boring. I think that even though he got the beard going and stuff, so he got the look, but he doesn't have the look. It's just like, and maybe that's where confidence comes in too. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have the look of confidence. Maybe he has like the look of uncertainty and stuff and nervousness or something. I don't know. But he had got the thick beard and all that, so he got the look. But he just, I don't know. Does he be hunching over in the shots or whatever? Because he just be looking a little like the look isn't fully his. He just borrowing it for a minute or something. Maybe he stole it. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not trying to imply nothing about him stealing, but anyway, because I really don't know how y'all be like, oh, she said Michael be stealing, da da da. He's black. I really don't know. So anyway, let me skip past that part. So I don't know. I don't really think she'll be too impressed by him, but if he really does like pay attention to her and prove that he's a good guy and that he's really in this, like, I think they can make it. Like, I have the hope that they could do that if they really want it to work. But it'd be interesting to see what type of problems they run into, because it's going to have to be something, because they both seem to be, like, reasonable people, understanding and stuff. But once they start having issues, like, their issues seem to me to be, like, real. Like, it's going to have to be a real issue. Like, her Jasmina complaining that he doesn't open up. Like, that's a real issue. That's something that you almost can't get over. Um, you just can't get over it in a relationship, really. Like, if you're feeling like, oh, he can't open up and stuff, and you're having those problems, like, maybe it'll get better as time goes on, but it just looks like that'll be like a real issue for them to overcome. So hopefully, fingers crossed for them. Hopefully they can do that. Um, Let's see. Jeez, we only talked about two couples and it's already 37 minutes. Sheesh. So anyway, let's talk about Katina and Olajuwon. First of all, I was like, when they said his name, I was like, what? What is that name? So I also had to learn it, but I'm like, oh, it's really not hard or whatever. Side note, I think that for names like that, usually like Americans will come up with a nickname. Like Gil from last season, I just learned the other day that his name was something different than Gil. Like, it's longer and it's, a Latin name or whatever, not American. And in his like live that I watched, that like resurfaced the other day, he said his whole name and I was like, oh snap. Like, it's more like Gil or something like that, and then it's longer. But he was just saying like Americans like shortened it to Gil, eventually became Gil, just because of Americans being lazy about pronunciation. So anyway, that's a side note. So anyway, let's talk about Katina and Olajuwon. So, bro, don't like Olajuwon at all. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not here to be nice or even try to make fake friends with him through the television screen. I don't think so. This guy looks immature. He looks completely like, yeah, he could want marriage and he could think that he's ready for it or whatever. He could say that he's ready for it, but he looks so immature. He looks like he's still self-centered and just focused on himself. And I don't really think, especially people who haven't had like history of being in relationships, I think it's really, 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 really hard for them to jump into a relationship, not even, never mind a marriage, but to even jump in a relationship and start considering someone over themselves, like people who haven't been in a relationship for a year, 2 years, or any long-term relationship, it's a whole new thing for them to be considering other people's feelings and for them to act differently than how they did when they were single, because there's just so many single tendencies that are going to come up, creep up like in the relationship, and you're going to have to like actively fight those. You're going to have to be very aware and very self-aware and be like, oh no, this is wrong. This is this is me just focusing on myself. This is me just considering my own feelings. This is me just, worried about me. And I feel like people, like I said, who haven't really been in long-term relationships or anything, especially recently, they really have a hard time a lot of the time considering other people, thinking about other people, or even realizing when they're not doing that. And so I feel like that's going to be a really hard thing. I feel like I look at him and I just see someone who's going to be very unaware of places where he's going to be inconsiderate. He's not really going to see it as that because, again, like I just don't think that he'll be really focused on her as much as he'll be on himself. And I feel like I said, he's kind of self-serving because it looks to me like he'll have the approach of, he'll say a lot of good stuff. Like it looks like he gives a lot of lip service. Like he'll say all the right things and whatever, but when it comes to actually acting it out, it seems like he'll fall short. We've seen a lot of guys like him. He gives me the impression of them. And so I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying like he's doomed in the marriage or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying that there's anything wrong with where he is in his life. Like people go through different paths, different journeys. They end up at different spots or whatever. But do I think that he's at the spot where he's ready to be married and commit to one person and all that? He can say all this he wants about Isaac is in the past or whatever, but I'm just like, bro, with your history, like it could be very easy to slip back into your history, especially when things are going wrong. Especially when things are going wrong. Like if something goes wrong, it's really easy for you to be like, oh, I'm gonna give this up or whatever. So I hope he's not that type of guy. But to me, it looks like he's gonna be a real challenge. Because even guys who didn't party like he did extensively and sleep with all these women, they have a hard time committing. Guys who haven't even been in relationships recently in the past and stuff, like it's just a hard thing to do. Like when you're in a relationship in general, just period, to consider the other person and be there for them and really show that you have their best interest in mind. That's like extremely hard. And for someone who's known as a serial like person to just sleep with women and all that, um, I don't know. I just feel like he's doomed because of how he is naturally until he honestly does change. And like maybe he has changed at this point in his life, but he still comes off very immature to me, very silly, and needs to do like a lot of growing up. So I guess I have all the harsh words for Elijah Wan, but until he proves me otherwise, he's still Isaac to me. I really can't call him Elijah Wan until he shows us a different side of Elijah, like of himself, like. But so far, I feel like we're seeing the Isaac part. So that's who he is right now. I don't know, but and then his brother, like I don't know if this was in episode 1, season 14, or episode 2, so my bad. But his brother seems to be goofy as well. Like I would really honestly describe both of them as goofy. And like I'm not trying to come down on him too hard, but again, this is what you showed me on television, so this is what I'm about to comment on. Y'all look mad goofy to me. Y'all look real goofy. Like his brother's really gonna come up here on television and be like, when I met my wife, I wasn't looking for a wife, I was looking for a knight. Like that may be true, but y'all are real goofy for that type of mindset, and I see why Elijah Wan is the way that he was, because y'all had the same energy when you were talking about like I just got distracted. But y'all had the same energy. Basically talking about, oh, I wasn't looking for a wife, I was looking for a night, I was looking for a good time. His brother had that energy, and he probably learned that from his brother, and that's probably helped him turn into Isaac. And Isaac, he's not like going about it the same way as his brother, obviously, because he signed up for Married at First Sight, so he's not looking for a knight, he's actually looking for a wife. But still, the whole mentality, I think that mentality is just there between both of them, and I don't know. I don't really see him changing in the course of like 2 months. I feel like this is like a trial for him, and that, he's going to bring some excitement to the show. And I don't know. I feel like it'll be entertaining, but I feel so bad for Katina. I haven't even talked about her yet, but bro, this Katina, like she said, and I really am mad about Married at First Sight. I have a bone to pick with them for sure, because Katina said she's been cheated on before, and she said this multiple times. So I'm just like, bro, if this is an insecurity she has, if this is a worry she has, you have got to be kidding me with setting her up with a known serial cheater, someone who openly admits there's nothing wrong or whatever, own your mistakes or whatever, but someone who openly admits to like cheating on people. And he was like, yeah, that was Isaac. Like, he's not even remorseful, and maybe he is or whatever, but at least on the show he don't seem to be remorseful. He just be like, yeah, that was me, that was, that was Isaac, that was my alter ego. So I don't know. Like, it seems to me like the way that he came across when he said those things, that he was just very much like, yeah, that was a point in my life and I did it. Maybe I'm not proud of it. I don't know, but it just seems like he takes a more is what it is approach. Whereas Katina seems to be like really hurt by that stuff that happened to her. And she was one of the girls who, like Isaac, like someone like Isaac did her dirty or whatever. So I'm just like, why are they matching her with someone who she doesn't want to be with, has already had experience with, and it didn't work out with? So I don't know. I'm just really questioning sometimes these experts and the choices that they make, because it just seems like these two are a disaster. Honestly, I just went on my rant about Elijah One slash Isaac, and all of my disapproval for him, other than the fact that he's probably a cool dude or whatever. But matching him with Katina seems like a real letdown, because they don't seem to be similar. Like, maybe like superficially, like maybe based on their attraction or whatever that they might have to each other, maybe they'd be a good match. But it just seems like bro, like there's and their tattoos, like maybe physically they are a good match, but other than that, I don't know. It seems like um I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens, because it seems like this is going to be a bumpy ride for sure between the two of them. Like I said, Elijah One just seems so immature, and Katina seems like she's dealt with so much of it. She seems a little, I don't know. I don't know. She doesn't really feel like we're not really getting much from her. So I feel like I don't even have that much to say about Katina, because it's just like, girl, I saw you tell your friends that you were getting married when y'all were like drinking and doing hookah. And that's about all I remember of Katina. Like, I remember she was saying that she's been done wrong with cheaters and stuff, and girl, I don't know. Her hair be up a little bit more on one side than the other, but let me leave that alone. I can't say anything. But I don't know. She seems very like, um, I hope the best for her, honestly. She just seems like she's dealt with games. She's been with inconsistent guys, with careless guys, guys who've kind of treated her as if she's not like, the most important thing to her. She definitely said that, oh, it was Jasmina who said that somebody had a baby on her, I think. Yeah. But Katina was saying that she was like in a relationship with this guy, and then she found out that she was the side chick and that he had been in a relationship for like 9 years. So I'm just like, bro, that's honestly really, really heartbreaking. And so for Married at First Sight to really match her with somebody who maybe acted similar to that, maybe not exactly like that, but to be acting similar and to be like out here, not really committing to one person, just trying to experience all the girls he can. I'm just like, seems like a disservice to Katina, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But I'm hope for the best for her. She seems to me nice and, pretty and lively. So I just hope that this doesn't like put her in a bad place, because I hope it doesn't bring back trauma and like traumatic memories and stuff. But I feel like looking at him and like experiencing him and spending time with him as she will, over the course of this experiment in their marriage, I feel like she's probably going to get a lot of like similar she's probably going to recognize a lot of similarities between him and like guys she's already dealt with and hasn't had any success with. But moving on from that, um, sorry. There's more stuff about Katina. Also, she has a sad story too, and I hate that like both of the black women have like sad stories on the show or whatever. And I know that Lindsay was talking about her mom, how that's sad and everything, but I'm just talking about like even if your mom doesn't talk to you and whatever, like prison and your mom abandoning you, like as in Jasmina's case, and then your father going to prison, as in Katina's case. Those things are horrible. You know, those things are really horrible, and I hate that oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about Michael's tragedy. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'll just touch on it a little bit, like the different tragedies. But I talked about Jasmina's, Katina's, her dad being in prison since she was like 9 or whatever. That's also traumatic. Like, it's very like sad, and I hate that these are their stories, but my heart goes out to her because of that, because I know that's not like something easy to deal with. And Michael, like, sheesh, all his trauma, the death of his mother, father, and brother, I believe, like, that's hard. But on the flip side, I'm at least glad that he has a big family, and he has multiple sisters, and he has a support system there, and he has another living brother as well. So I'm just glad that he does have support, and that like family seems to be a focus for them, something really important. So that's good. That's really uplifting, especially in like those tragic circumstances. And I'm going to wrap this up in a little bit, but now let me talk about Alyssa and what's his name? Yike. Oh, Chris. Alyssa and Chris. Let's talk about them. So, bro, these two, by the time I got to them in the episode, I was like, sheesh, like, y'all, especially Chris, like, let's talk about him for a minute. Bro, this dude seems boring. That's like my first impression, my automatic impression. I'm sure you're a good guy. You're a salesman or something, or I forget, a real estate agent or something like that. Whatever, he was talking about his job. And he seems like a good dude. He seems like, he's got a job. He's got, a mom. I thought his little joke about wanting to talk to his mom about real estate was funny. And then they sat down to eat or whatever, or just to chat outside, and he was like, well, I told you this meeting was about real estate, but it's really about ha 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 me getting married in 2 weeks. And she was like, huh, are you serious? Like, what? But anyway, so I thought that was kind of like weird and like funny a little bit. And yeah, I don't know. But Chris, like as a person, like I said, probably seems like a good guy. He looks like he followed the rules. He looks like he, do what he have to do, 9 to 5 type of thing, and his little hobbies and stuff, disc throwing in the woods. I was just very unimpressed, to be honest. I'm just like, he's really gonna come up here talking about he's a champion and he's disc throwing in the woods and act like that's like the coolest thing that people even care about. No shade if you do it, but I'm just saying, like, it's not that interesting at all. And I hope I don't sound like a hater, but I'm just saying, like, you throw a disc in the wood, like, okay, let me set up my trash can back there and tie it to a tree. Like, okay, that's very impressive. So anyway, yeah, it just seems like, and maybe it's a huge sport and stuff like that. And I know I feel like y'all probably think I'm coming real hard at the sport, but I'm just like, it just seems like honestly like tag. And then like I know people like compete and stuff in tag or whatever, but it just seems something real simple that kids do and y'all want to take it all seriously as a professional sport. Like you just start tag out of nowhere and anyone can do it. So that's kind of how I feel about disc throwing in the woods or whatever. Maybe there's like the flick of the wrist that you need and like your knuckles got to be a certain size or whatever to really be good at the sport or something, and you got to have a certain body temperature in your hands or whatever. But I'm just like, that's cool. So anyway, let's get past that because hate for what? This man is enjoying his life and his little hobbies, and he got some accolades for doing that. So be a hater if you want, but this man is living his best life. So go, Chris! Yay! Super happy for you for that. Yeah. So other than that, I don't know. I really feel like Alyssa is expecting, or at least hoping and praying for some type of perfection, some type of model type. I could definitely see her drooling over like anybody else besides Chris. Um, Definitely like Zac Efron. I don't know why he's coming to my mind, but I'm just like she would be so happy with just literally a professional, like looking type of model type. Chris is not the model type whatsoever. He's the regular Joe. So I'm just like, wow, she's really not going to be happy with the regular average looking Joe guy. She probably feels like she can walk past him and go after the guy who's modeling for Shawn Mendes or something. Like she thinks she looks like to me, like she thinks that's what she deserves and that's what she wants. Um, so I definitely don't think she's gonna be happy with Chris. I am definitely worried about their relationship. I think that Chris should have gotten someone more like Lindsay because she seems to be a little more free spirited and less like judgmental, less judgy, less snobbish. So Alyssa could be a great person or whatever, but I definitely feel like she's very particular and she's not really going to be happy with what she got in Chris, and there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. If you have a certain type of taste and you like what you like, then who's to blame you? But I hope she's not like cruel to him, really mean to him. I just think that she's gonna walk down the aisle and not really like what she sees, and he's gonna be standing there and he's gonna be like willing to accept her for who she is and like what she is and what she comes with or whatever, and she's gonna look at him and be like turned off. So I see that with them. I also saw that with Jasmina and Michael. Like she'll probably come down the aisle and she'll be like, oh, he looks good. Okay, he has the look. He got the thick beard and everything. But there's also something about Michael where you're like, you look like you got the leg, but you don't got the look like completely down. I don't know. So that's what I think about that. Almost an hour here, so I'm gonna wrap this up like I said, but just to like talk a little bit more about Alyssa. She seems like she could be a cool person. She seems very, like I said, particular, like with her friends and with the things that she does, like the activities, how she lives her life. She just comes off as not a free spirit. She just comes off as very like, this is what I like, and this is how I'm going to do my life, and I'm not really going to do anything outside of that. I don't know how to explain that, but that's how she comes off to me, just very like, I don't know, just very like not too easygoing, just kind of like um, only certain places for certain reasons. Like, you know how people will be end up places or whatever and they'll go with the flow. She doesn't seem go with the flow to me. She just seems like, this is the reason why I'm here. This is the reason why I'm doing that. And if it doesn't align with my reason, then like, what's really going on? She does not seem to be like the sweet, innocent, like caring white girl, friendly. She seems to be very like, um, friendly for what? Or I'll be friendly if I like you or whatever. So just not very like open and easygoing with everybody. But just kind of very more like to herself or like concerned with her own issues and stuff. You know, she's concerned with animals, so maybe that's why she loves animals so much, because maybe she's not a people person. I don't know. I guess these all sound like harsh judgments, but don't judge me too harsh by my judging all of these people. They're the ones putting their life out there on TV. I guess I'm on YouTube. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know. Alyssa doesn't seem charming. She doesn't really seem like a Southern belle. She just seems more like, and that's why I'm like, she's talking about she's so country and whatever. And like, no, like country goes like hand in hand with hospitality and like things like that, smiling, being open and friendly, not just wearing country boots and liking country music. So I'm just like, this girl says she's so country and stuff, but I feel like she has the wrong idea with country, because when I think of country, I mean, other than like rednecks and stuff, I seem to think more of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong completely, because Southern belles, you think of accents and hospitality, I think, but I don't know. There's all this stuff about Southern and racism too. So for her to be saying she's country so much, I feel like that should be a trigger warning, because I know that there's a lot of black people who are country and whatever, but I'm just like, there's a lot of racism associated with country. And so I'm like, the more you say that, the more it gets a little triggering, because I don't really know what country you're talking about. You're talking about cowboy boots and whatever, but what else are you talking about? So anyway, she doesn't seem country at all to me. She seems like a regular girl from like anywhere. She place her anywhere. She could be from I don't know, Colorado. She could be from like literally anywhere. She doesn't give me a southern vibe at all or a country vibe at all. Nothing. Like she could be from, I don't know, like Washington State. She doesn't give me country at all. She just gives me real average and not country. It doesn't seem like that's a distinguishing factor. But anyway, guys, I have been rambling on and rambling on about Married at First Sight Season 1, Episode 1. And I said a little things that highlight Episode 2. But I gotta do that video so soon, hopefully, when my hair isn't looking like this. Like, maybe I'll do the video tomorrow. I'm not really sure yet. But I definitely want to do it before Wednesday, because I want to start doing the videos, obviously, like, as the new episode comes out, and putting that video out there. So I hope you guys watch this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, I'm so sorry for the horrible quality and my hair. But again, it needed to dry, and I'm not gonna have wet hair, and I'm just not. And like I said, didn't want to sit under the dryer because I wouldn't have been able to make the video. But anyway, hope you guys got something out of this. Please comment down below anything that you want to comment. But try and answer those questions that I posed earlier, and I will see you guys for season 14, episode 2 and 3, and please stay with me the whole time. Like I said, I'm just going to do commentary about my thoughts on the season. Like I said, I'm a big Married at First Sight fan, and I've been wanting to do these reviews for a long time, a couple seasons, and like I'm a faithful watcher every Wednesday night. So it shouldn't be too hard for me to do the videos since I watch so frequently. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Write me any messages or comments. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.